right, it is time for another costume video. In this video, we're going to be talking about I should say who we are. If you don't know Pez, you're going to meet Pez in this video. Pez, very famously in this fandom anyway, watched all of season 1 of The Wheel of Time without having read any of the books, and just based on clues in the costumes, was guessing things from literally the very, very end of the series. So we are going to be talking about the costumes in this video, just the posters. We talked for about 2 hours. This is just going to be part of the conversation. I'm going to be releasing it in like chunks, just because editing a 2-hour video takes time, and I've been very busy. So let's see. What else should I tell? Oh, the other thing I'll tell you, I've ended up reordering our conversation just a little bit, because when we recorded, just because of the way my files were saved, we ended up just going in alphabetical order, which is not entirely logical. So I've ended up grouping things together in a way that makes more sense. But what might end up happening, you might notice us alluding to things that will end up being mentioned in other videos. So just that fair warning out of there. I don't think it'll be that distracting, but just in case anybody's like, hey, I didn't hear you talk about that. What are you talking about? The other thing I'm going to mention is spoilers, because we are both book readers, and part of her analysis is connecting things to things in the books. There are going to be spoilers in this video. I'm going to say they go as far as book 5, The Fires of Heaven. So if you've read as far as book 5, you're good to go. And if you haven't, I know some people don't care about spoilers or whatever. The series is about to start. It's about to start. If you have not read as far as book 5, please don't. I don't know what's going to be in this season, but I think that there are things we're going to mention in this video that are very likely to show up this season. So we're really, really close. You can hold off. You can hold off. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into this.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
So this Velociraptor is going to be guiding us through the costumes.
Hopefully not. Oh wait, there it is. I found it. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So this is Aviendha.
She's got tree on her now. Or at least the leaf.
Is like, are you saying this here?
Yeah, I think that's a leaf.
Yeah, it does look like it. I mean, they were missing the trees.
Yeah. Or at least they were concealed. I can't, I think this is new. And
I don't remember it.
It kind of looks like a leaf design on her belt buckles here too.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
I could totally be inventing stuff here.
Well, I mean, it would be a through line, and
maybe they've watched our video.
We know they have. I've told you that, right? I've told you that?
I'm pretending not.
I just know someone who met, I believe, Sharon Gillam at like some sort of fan event, and mentioned me, and they said, "Oh yes, I know the cartoons." I was like, "Oh shit!" That's my reaction. Oh shit!
I also love the stitching on her armor. Like, it's very decorative. It's not exclusively functional.
Yeah,
and I like the way that it looks like weaves, but it also kind of looks like tracks in the sand, like if you're not sweeping up behind yourself.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's really cool. Pants also have some sort of...
Yeah, it's like a line. I think it's actually a texture to the fabric itself.
Right.
I really like how the Aiel have all these different layers of texture, since unlike other cultures we've seen, they don't have layers of color that they utilize. They're instead utilizing layers of texture. And see how it's the same texture on her upper arm where she's got it folded and it's disappearing?
Yeah.
It's the same texture, but it's just in a different color.
Right. Slightly lighter color. It makes sense, yeah, if they're going for camouflage, that their variety would be in texture, not so much in color.
And of course, we have to be able to see them, but we also have to buy that they're camouflaged in the world, right? So
yes, that's sort of the deception of yes. Yeah, that's a whole suspending your disbelief.
It's a thing.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's interesting how the black is fading into like flower petals or leaves.
Yeah. The flower petal, I'm pretty sure, because people were saying this is like the same as the crumbling tower effect, and I don't think it is.
No, it's definitely not, because the crumbling tower effect was decidedly like chunks of stone.
Yeah.
This is something different.
This reminds me, I don't know if you remember in season 2, there was a few times Lanfear did like an effect where she made Ishii disappear, or that one time where Ishii is creepily rubbing Rand's face in bed and then he turns into Lanfear.
Yeah.
It's using some sort of, she dissolves into particles that remind me of this. It could have been petals that we just didn't notice, or at least I didn't notice at the time.
It also reminds me of, remember how in season 2, when she was in captivity, which, I love and hate that arc.
Yeah.
It reminds me also of like the petals of the tree that she was attached to.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think it's specifically that. I don't know for sure. I haven't rewatched season 2 in quite a while now, but it just reminds me of that. When I'm thinking of her and I'm thinking of anything like floral or plant-based, I think of that tree.
You think of that tree? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because my read on this was like we've got her Aiel and dream journey was what was going on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then I still think that leather belt collar thing is still hearkening back to, her experiences in season 2.
Yeah, it's like she's got something. I mean, I get like obviously practical purposes. This is her going into the way she needs something to mop her brow, perhaps.
Right. But we also don't know, is that arm dream arm or is that arm Aiel arm?
Exactly. I think she actually is wearing this in the trailer as well.
Okay.
You remember that shot where she's talking to Bear and Bear's like, you don't belong here?
Right.
I think she's wearing it there too. And this is, I know that a lot of us were assuming this was a dream, like she dreamed herself into this outfit. But I don't know if you saw, well, you say you have it. There was a clip shown on, I think, Good Morning Britain or something. And she's wearing this outfit. And it's not a dream. Like it's Moiraine is lecturing all of the kids. So she's wearing it under, I don't think we could see her arm, but
sure.
I do find that like she's got something that is reminiscent of a collar and something that is reminiscent of the arm bracer from the here. So.
I definitely haven't seen whatever that content is, but one of the things that seeing Egwene in this black outfit that's on her upper body in this poster. And then we've also seen Elaine in her hippie outfit, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yes.
Her bohemian outfit. And now we've seen the 11 minutes or whatever, the shredding. Is that what they're calling it? The shredding?
That's what people,
Obviously, they had to bring everyone who came back to the tower back in disguise and very, very quietly. And you would not look at this black outfit and think of Anonymous of the Tower.
100% would not. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And so it's possible that like she and Elaine are dressed the way that they are because like literally the moment that Nynaeve stepped foot into the Sitter's Hall or whatever is the first time that anyone outside of a very, very small circle is allowed to know that the girls survived and are not in captivity.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
And I would also think if they're bringing the boys back that they'd want to do that quietly as well. Like, I don't have any real feeling at the moment if Perrin and Rand made it back to Tar Valon or not. But we know for sure Matt did. And based on what I have seen of the Matt promotional materials, it seems like it's not exactly a secret that he blew the horn.
Well, he's like posing for photos. Not photos. He's posing for sketches with the horn. And like giving it to novices. Because, you know, he's a flirt. He's like, here, just hold this.
That's so Matt. That's amazing.
It really is.
So I feel like they couldn't hide Matt for whether Matt just wasn't cooperating or they're using Matt as bait or whatever. They couldn't hide Matt, but they had to hide the girls.
They definitely had to hide the ones that were sold. So, yeah. Oh, we already looked at her. but still.
Yeah, but look at the tower crumbling effect. That block effect is definitely not the same as the petal effect.
Yeah, no, it's
You
really,
can
really
see
not.
how like jagged and stony, rocky the edges are.
Exactly.
Hi, Lan.
I don't think there's much, like the pattern is different, but we've talked about it. I don't think there's much different, is there?
Not super noticeably. The one thing that I did notice is if you look at the bottom of his tunic, kind of like across his hip, see how there's a straight up and down vertical line pattern in the textile that isn't super obvious the rest of the time? I don't know if that's new or not. But if it is, that's a really interesting choice because, again, what they've told us through the costume Bible and the behind-the-scenes information from season 1 is that those vertical lines are representative of Andor.
Well, this season, like, I mean, it could just be stripes looked cool, but this season, we are going to see him training with Rand, right? And so, like, his relationship with Rand will be strengthened, I think, this season. Like, we're going to get that mentor-mentee.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
And the straight lines can also be representative of the two rivers because the two rivers are in Andor, although they're customarily plaid, but...
Right.
Interesting as well. Look how he's like a sand kind of dissolving, but that's not really what his sword is dissolving into. Like, it's more like smoke or mist.
It does. Yeah, you're right.
It does kind of look sandy at the bottom edge there, but that's interesting.
Okay.
Whoa, that is quite the poster.
Yes. There's a better one of her, like where you could see more of her outfit, but I did just want to look at this one because I love this poster.
So just all else aside, if you had never read the books or watched the show, you want to know what's going on. You want to watch based on this. Like, what the
this
heck
is an excellent poster.
This is a great hook. Yeah.
Yeah. The other poster is better for costume talking, but this is just a really, really good poster. There we go.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So interesting thing. She's got her arm is kind of going into the sand effect, but the blue looks more like ink or paint or water.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. It's interesting that it's this shade of blue, right? This is because it's this shade of blue that
vivid blue that reminds me of her as
times.
Yeah.
It's her happy blue.
And I love that leather chest piece. That is incredible.
Yeah. It's like molded, like this is incredibly structured. Yeah. And then the bottom half is so flowy.
I honestly, I'm just assuming it's leather because so many of the amazing pieces that they've had in the show so far have been leather. But one of my first thoughts when I first saw like the glimpses of this costume were that this could have been like something that was laser cut and it still could be, even if it's leather, or even like a 3D printed sculpture type thing that they made into something metallic. It's really fascinating. And honestly, it looks... This is so weird, but abstractly, it looks to me like a dragon. Like,
I can actually totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can kind of see wings and like the head shape and the spine kind of going up and down the center front of her body. I don't know. That's just how I see it.
I get it has that. Dragon may be not the word. Reptilian is the word I'm thinking.
Reptilian for sure.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating pattern. And it could also be like layered and blended weaves. Like there's lots of things that this could be representative of. It could just also look cool.
It does look very cool. I have a feeling, my theory right now is that this is a dress she's going to see a lot in her Flicker. And then she's going to don it at the end when she thinks that like, it's part of my destiny. This is where like I'm going to dress in armor, something armor-like, to go into what she is going to feel like is her final showdown. She wants to, you want to look fabulous when you feel like you're going into... I mean,
why not, right?
Yeah. That's my theory right now. I have no idea. It's
really fascinating to me, like when we look at her right now and the vivid colors and the metallic, the colors less so, but it reminds me in a sense of the Heroes of the Horn that we saw at the end of season 2. Like it's very not of this time, not of this place. It's not like anything else we've seen. And so it definitely has big damn hero energy.
Yeah. It definitely has big damn hero energy. Yeah. Like this is a woman about to face death. Rand.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, I think that we might get a shot of him from the front in this outfit. Like in the group posters, so we can see more of it. I will tell you, I have heard grumblings about this outfit, that it's
Why?
just like a denim jacket or something.
No, it's not.
Okay. I literally, these grumblings come across my,
Fair.
vision, because people are like, oh, you'll talk about the costumes. We'll talk about this. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha. I just did not look at that stuff. I will be honest. So the thing I find fascinating about this image of him particularly, like disregarding the coat for a second, his back, he looks like he's dissolving into sand or into particles. But look how it looks more like steam or smoke, like it's hitting him and failing when it hits those bare forearms, which we know from other images that we've seen. There's going to be some very significant markings there at some point in this season. So I find that interesting. The other thing that's really cool about the coat, see how the collar is the blue, kind of like the gray blue that he's been wearing all along. He does have a more saturated blue shirt that we've seen him in quite a bit. But then the rest of his coat fades into like greens and sandy khaki kind of colors with hints of red and stuff. I think this is meant to evoke the coat that he wore when he was quote unquote undercover in season 2.
Right.
Where it was like the coat of all the different colors of all the different Ajas.
Yeah.
And the thing I loved about that coat is that it did incorporate all those colors, because as the show started to incorporate different colors into different kinds of uses of the power, we start to understand that Rand can use any of these. Like it's not like Avatar, The Last Airbender, if somebody has seen that, just as a franchise that a lot of people are familiar with, right? Where you have water or fire or earth. No, he's got all of these things that he can call on for different powers and things, even if he's not super aware of that yet. And it incorporates kind of all the different elements of the Ajas too, in that, this one's militaristic. This one wants to hunt down those who abuse the power and shouldn't have it. This one wants to do good in the world. This one wants logic. This one wants order or whatever. He's kind of got all of that in that coat in season 2. And this reminds me of that coat, but like it's been worn and faded over time. I don't think it's the same coat necessarily, but I think it's meant to evoke that. But I also love that the blue is what's closest to his face and his heart, being there on the center front of the coat, because that's his little piece of the two rivers that he's carrying with him all along. And if you have read the book, I have no idea which book it's in. I'm sorry. I have no idea what happens in which book, because I've read them all really fast. But there's a line in one of the later books where he finally like sheds all of this finery that he's donned as the dragon and as he's assumed all this political power in the world. But he puts on like a good Two Rivers shirt at some point there toward the end. And he's like, I'm myself again. I'm Rand again. He's carrying that piece from the books with him in all of his costumes, if you look for it.
Yeah. And what I like when you were talking about the different colors, what struck me all of a sudden is these colors here, like the lighter colors on his back. That is the colors that I am associating now based on everything you've seen with the Aiel. And the blue is the colors that I associate for him specifically, not for everybody, but for him specifically with the Two Rivers. And this is his two worlds blending in one outfit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, no, it's not just a denim coat.
No. Which I didn't like, but until somebody said that, I was like, is it denim? I have no idea.
Also, no, it isn't denim. So the weave structure is wrong for denim.
Okay. And then, this is the one where you can see his
with
thing.
The rings. Yeah, I love this jacket on Rand. I understand why some people wouldn't. I do. I have sympathy for that. But like the way that the blue is fading into these Aiel colors, he's letting pieces of his different identities subsume one another, which is perfect for where he is in his journey from what we know of it from the books at this moment.
Yeah, okay, we've talked a lot about that. Anything about...
So the X is interesting. See how she's got the X-shaped piece here?
She's got, oh yeah, then this is, okay.
That's
Yes.
reminiscent of it's more of a cross in its configuration, but she had that cross shape on her Aiel apprentice costume for
She
lack of a
does,
better
you're
name
right.
for it.
You're right. Yeah.
So that's a triangle at the top and then the X there. And I mean, they don't choose these things casually. So I'll be watching for similar shapes, I guess.
Yes, yes. But yeah, I think this was in her apprentice outfit. You're right. Oh, look, she's got pockets. Sorry. Pockets make me so happy.
Oh, and it does look like the wristband is from this outfit.
Yeah, it did. Okay. Which I don't like. I don't think you'd wear this outfit walking into the waist.
No. Well, okay. If you were sensible and making your choices from a place of extreme logic, knowing you were going into the waist, would you choose that outfit? No.
Yeah.
If you were suffering from PTSD, you might.
Maybe. Yes, that's true.
If your bigger concern was looking like a badass in a warrior culture,
yeah.
that could be a reason for that choice.
Like this to me seems very sensible to wear into the waist because that's like my brow is sweaty. I just want to be able to. Like,
right.
That's what those are. The red, like this is this absorbs heat, ma'am. This absorbs heat. So also you're going to get a sunburn.
Yes. So Rand, those aren't buttons on his coat. Those are grommet holes. We're seeing his shirt and his other garments through those.
Oh, yeah.
So I expect that there's going to be some sort of toggle or something on the other side of the coat that goes through that. That's what I would expect to see.
Okay.
Or like a strap or something.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else to say about Moiraine except hi. We literally talked about this exact picture.
It's a great costume.
It is.
You know what's actually, there is something interesting to say. So if you look at the silhouette, just at the silhouette, not at the seaming or the piecing, there's only one other character we've seen in the silhouette that we're seeing Moiraine in. And that's Lanfear in that black dress on the other poster. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because that's even what I was saying about, like, they mirror them so much. It's about colors, but the reptilian nature of this and the reptilian nature of whatever Lanfear's got going on.
It's fabulous.
Yes, and you're right. This silhouette is like that dress as well.
Yeah, like the piecing is completely different. The structure is different, but
yeah, like it's the neck piece. It's that 20s,
the bare arms. Yeah,
yes, it is. Oh,
the silky flowing 30s, 20s. Yeah. Mostly 30s, but it happened in the 20s too. But yeah,
I want more movies. This is nothing to do. I want more movies that aren't that crazy movie that came out last year to be take place in the 20s. Because it's one of my favorite eras just to look at, and we don't get enough content about it.
Yeah, and the thing about the 20s, like if you've seen pictures of like the clothes that were worn in the 20s or something, everything about the 20s was about movement. It was about seeing things in motion. And so when you see it like static in a museum or flat, it doesn't have the same effect. Lynn just looks ready to go. I'm convinced now that's a leaf. Look at Aviendha and tell me that's not a leaf.
It does look like a leaf. Oh my gosh, you're right. Even the shape of the armor kind of gives. Yep.
And that almost looks like a branch there connecting to the leaf, like that armor strap piece.
Which, okay, sorry, I'm obviously making this about the tree, but also like the way of the leaf. They're going to learn about that. It totally does.
It's so good.
It's so good. We're about to break your culture. Woo! Yay! Yay for shattering long-held assumptions.
I know. What can I do? Look at the shape of the rings there, the way that they come together like this. And then look at the center buckle at the top of Egwene's neck piece. If you include where the leather straps are threading and attaching through, it's almost like a stylized representation of the rings.
I could see that. Yeah. That's true. Oh, good. Good catch. Costumes this season. I think that season 1, I thought the costumes were great. Season 2, they blew me out of the water. Season 3, I'm saying glow up still again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so even just looking at it from the standpoint of practicality, right? So we obviously saw an increase in the budget for costumes in season 2. I think we can just definitively say the budget went up.
Yeah.
Right. This season, they don't have to dress the Shan-Shan.
That's true. That's true. You're
and
right.
a lot of time and money and labor went into those Shan-Chan costumes. So now they can dress others. And I mean, a lot of the background characters that we're for sure going to see this season are Aiel, which is fairly uniform. You can probably rent a lot of that. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more main character energy brought to some of the costumes of characters who maybe wouldn't have had that in previous seasons.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so
I
excited.
want the show.
I know.
I want time to watch the show.
Yes.
But yes,
Well,
sorry if we missed somebody's theory. I know quite a few people have tagged me. Some of it I've seen, some of it I've not. Very little
life
of
is
it
a bit
has been
chaotic
seen
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. My day job kind of went a little busy right now. So
yeah, I understand. Well, thank
but
you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
It's fun.
Yes. And we will be back, of course, once the season drops and we have more to talk about because we are nerds who talk about this. So,
100% yes. And we will have Bree back with us as soon as she finishes writing many, many thousands of words.
Yes.
Good luck, Bree.
Many thousands. Yes.
If you see Bree and it's not showtime yet, like use a broom emoji and sweep her along.
Sweep her away. Tell her to get to work so that she can devote all of her attention to the show. That's why we're bossing you around in love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right, there you have it. That's the first part of this conversation. And I'm going to do my damnedest to get these all out before the show comes out. So, you have this if you're interested in this kind of thing, which I'm assuming if you've watched this far in the video, you are. Let me know what your favorite of these costumes is in the comments below, and anything you noticed that maybe we didn't. Let me know. I always like hearing about that stuff. And if you like my content and want to support me, I also have a Patreon that is linked in the description below. To my patrons, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. This is all possible because of you, so thank you. And with that, I am going to end this here, so please like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.